From the Keith Vincent Kayola Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, spirit communication devices. Do they work? And now here's your host, JC3.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com. Welcome everybody to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, we are talking about spiritual communication devices. That's including Ouija boards. That's including seances, I think. That's including, what else can we throw in there?
Spirit boxes.
Spirit boxes.
Ouija boards, EVPs.
Yeah, okay.
Divining rods.
In the booth tonight, as you can see, we have Big Tony on one side. Big Tony, say hello. Big Tony. The Pope Tony.
I
I'm
am
sorry.
the Pope. You will respect me for my title. I'm the Pope. Ciao, everyone.
And then we have on the other side, we have Big Joe. Say hello. I combined you two. I'm sorry.
Hi, I guess. I just want to know, why do you always make the Pope Italian? And don't we, I mean, he's Argentinian, isn't he? I mean,
I'm not modeling. I'm Pope Tony.
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, communication devices, gentlemen. What do we have for tonight's episode?
Well, we have a bunch.
Yeah, Dad, you started off because I didn't do shit.
We have a lot of stuff. We have spirit boxes. Basically, all that is an untuned radio. It tunes into white noise, and it just constantly scours the frequency that's around and picks up anything that tries to communicate using electronic signature. And how that works is you have the spirits are putting out some kind of electrical, I don't know, zapping shit or whatever
The electrical zapping
vibes.
shit. That's what we need.
Okay.
In order for an apparition or a ghost or a spirit to manifest itself, it has to draw energy from something.
Right. Okay.
So
that's what
as
it does.
and if energy is electromagnetism,
Mhm.
if they're trying to utilize that,
Right.
so that's why you use a radio that's not working anymore, because the idea is that it's going to pick up the waves that
Well, is
a
it
radio
not
would pick up.
working anymore, or they just design it that way?
I don't know. I don't have one of them, so I tend to not keep them in my house.
I have an app. I have two apps on my phone that does the same thing, but they're bullshit. Because
Of
what
course they are.
Because what it's doing is you're not. They're showing you that it's scanning frequencies, but you're not hearing the white noise part of it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden words will come. You ask it a question, and
It could also
what's your
be.
name, and it'll say top. You know what I mean?
It could also be, and I'm just spitballing here, that when you download an app that's designed to do something that the physical hardware is not capable of doing, it could just be bullshit that someone made an app and said,
I
check
tend to
this
agree
out.
with Anthony. I don't sit there and say, I'm not going to download an EVP device on my iPhone.
like, it's like you download the radio app, the
Well,
Ghost
EVP
Radio, it's like WGHST, playing all the hits from all time.
What I have here, gentlemen, what I have right here in front of me is it's from the Science and Media Museum, right?
Okay.
So they have a whole area about telecommunications and the occult. So from this one, and it's just a list of different communication devices, right?
Sure.
So this one, they have the spiritual telegraph.
Ruh-roh.
So electronic telecommunications were popular, associated with the occult from the start. The laying of the earliest working overland and submarine telegraphic cables in the late 1840s and early 1850s coincided with the birth of spiritualism, a widespread belief that the living could communicate with the dead, with the spirits of the dead. The electric telegraph, ushered in a new era of long-distance communication. Its workings were popular popularly likened to the operation of spirit communication, which similarly relied on the transmission of messages between intelligences at a distance.
Yeah, it's the
Uh,
lines and the dots. Beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, beep. I think I just told someone off. I don't know. I don't speak that.
Spirit messages were were even conveyed in similar ways to telegraphed ones. In seances, spirits seemed to communicate with the living by spelling out coded messages through short rapping noises, similar to the rapped pulses of Morse code used in telegraphy.
Yeah, it's like Abraham Lincoln. Stop. Still dead.
Do you
Stop.
know who created
Have
the
a headache,
first?
stop.
Do you know who created the first spirit telephone?
The spirit telephone?
Yes, the spirit telephone.
Was it Alexander Graham Bell?
No, it was Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison. Okay.
Thomas Edison.
Now we're gonna shit on Edison. Here we go.
Did I say anything about Edison?
But you will. I know you. I know
No,
you.
no, he just took all the ideas from Tesla and then put a patent on him and said, fuck you, Tesla, and then charged people for it, but that's okay. What'd you say, Joe?
Thomas Edison's spirit telephone. Many of the most influential developers of electric telecommunications technologies were
Nothing
directly
is sacred.
involved in the scientific investigation of spirits and other Wow, I'm fucked tonight.
Psychological?
Psychical.
Psychical.
That's a word.
I don't know. You sound like you're making it up.
PSYCHICAL. Psychical.
Cyclical.
Sure.
Phenomena like telepathy, eminent British physicist,
Fucking subtitles. I apologize.
physicist and wireless pioneer Sir Oliver Lodge, for instance, was renowned for his openness to spiritualist phenomena. He served as president of the London Society for that research from 1901 to 1903, and during the First World War,
I see.
published a best-selling book documenting his experiences of contacting his dead son Raymond during seances.
Raymond, I notice you have not cleaned your room. Father, I'm dead. Oh, yes, that's right. My dearest apologies, Raymond.
See, this is what Dad was talking about with too much comedy.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's
just...
not what I'm talking about.
Move to your right
but,
a little bit, Aunt. There you go.
Raymond, are you there?
Well,
Quite, old chap.
Thomas Edison, whose celebrated inventions included the phonograph, the first practical incandescent lamp, and a carbon button transmitter for telephones, announced his intention in 1920 to create a spirit communication device, an apparatus to see if it is possible for personalities which have left this earth to communicate with us.
Then they try to communicate Houdini with that.
Yeah, Houdini was into seances and stuff like that, trying to communicate with his mom. Actually, what he was trying to do is prove him wrong. He's trying to say, well, this doesn't work, but you know what? And
Well,
if I can contact her.
I mean, if I remember the story correctly, he said, 1 year after I'm dead or the next Halloween after I die, hold a seance and I'll try to make contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they did, and nothing happened. Spoiler alert.
Okay, you're an asshole.
Well, that could be, look.
I'm just saying that's what happened.
It's exactly what. But there's a lot of reasons for that. He could have been and I know I'm going to go on a fringe here, but he could have been a spirit that was maybe when he crossed over, he doesn't have that kind of power yet to find his way in the spirit realm.
Maybe.
We don't know. None of us are there, and
Didn't
I
have
really,
a quarter for the payphone.
I really don't understand that, but it is what it is.
Well, nobody understands that. That's the point of it. It's death. Nobody understands what happens. That's why we're even doing this podcast, because there's questions about what happens after we close our eyes for the
All right,
final
so
time.
let me ask you this.
And we have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Let me ask you both of you. Spirit boxes. Now, you've both seen them work.
I've seen
believe
people
it?
use them. I don't know if I've seen them work.
All right, so like I'm watching a TV show, and granted it's a ghost hunting TV show, and I don't mean ghost hunters. I mean
No, I know. Just
Anyway.
whatever.
And there many times, more often than not, they sit there and they'll ask a question, just generally, and like, what's your name or whatever, and this thing will come over and it'll say what its name is. How can you explain that, please?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't, and I'm not. And this is. I remember having a big debate with one of my ex-girlfriends about this, because I told her, we had a big debate about whether ghosts exist or they don't exist, and she was very adamant of like, you can't call them, and I wasn't understanding what she was saying at the time, and I think I do now. She doesn't believe in ghosts in the idea that you die, you stay on Earth, you wander around in some non-corporeal form, you're just kind of here.
Right.
That's a big word for Elmo.
Non-physical form.
There you go. Thank you.
I think her point was, we have no idea what these things are. We have no idea what's causing that phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a possibility that it could be something very natural that we're not understanding what it is. We don't know. Like, it could be something natural. We just don't know how or why it's happening. And maybe someday we'll get a technology together, or someone will do research to tap into that thing. Like, oh, there it is. Similarly to like humans we've been here for 200,000 years. It was only in the last 150, 200 years that we were able to tap into like stuff like the electromagnetic spectrum and X-rays and infrared. And it's like, look at all these things that are happening around us that we don't see because we're not tuned into that level of the spectrum because we're human. Mm-hmm. But by using this device, we're able to. Who's to say that within the next 200 years or even sooner that there's not going to be some inventor who does that, and then all of a sudden the mystery of ghosts goes away, right? So the argument between her and I was like, you can't call that, you can't say that it is definitely a spirit or the spirit of someone who died, because you don't have that answer. It's all hypothesis. It's all theory.
All right, so let me ask you a question. I mean, this is what the show's about.
Yeah.
If they bring a spirit box in here and literally put it here and then turn it on, and you ask a question, and then it says, like, say your question was, did you ever live? Or were you ever living, whatever? And it turns around and says, yes. Or it gives you specific details. How do you explain that?
I can't. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I literally can't. But I've never had that experience either.
Well, you never really, none of us have said. I mean,
no, I know that, but I mean, there's
$300-$400.
No, there's that, but like, there's so many people who have that phenomenon where they were like, oh, I was sitting around and you don't even need like we're talking about spiritual communication devices. You don't even need a box. You need a flashlight, a ball on the ground. Like, if you're here, roll the ball.
We tried that.
Right, you know what I mean? And if it starts rolling, like, oh my God. And I'm not saying like that's definitely a ghost every time, but who knows why that thing's moving? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've never been in that situation where I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm going to ask this thing. And it's really because I don't want to fucking know. I don't want to fuck with that side of life or death or whatever you want to call it. Right. Because my feet are firmly planted on this side. Okay. I don't want to fuck with what's over there.
Plantly firm.
I know. I reversed that. See, in the 90s, when computers were first like being a more introduced into homes more, mm-hmm. and we got our first computer, we had computer safety classes in school. And one of the biggest things that Rose used, you know who I'm talking about, Rose would tell us is, this is not like a telephone where you can hear someone else on the other end. You have no idea who's on the other end of a communication. Like, right. And that's something that we know, like, there's someone there. I mean, maybe not today. It's automated and it's AI bots and shit like that. But like, if you used to go into a chat room, or if you just find a random whatever through Snapchat or whatever, you start texting someone on a forum, or whatever, you have no idea who's on the other end receiving that message and communicating with you.
That's the problem.
The only thing you know is that they're alive or they're an AI bot. When it comes to these things, which are spiritual, I have no idea what the fuck's on the other end. I don't know if it's from heaven, hell, somewhere in between, or if it's just some asshole who croaked and just never got around to leaving the house.
All right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to do that in the next segment, Joe, but I want to go over a few of these spirit communication devices or ways of communicating.
I thought that's what I was doing, but okay.
Oh, no, go ahead. If you're doing it, go ahead, because I got it written here, too.
No, I mean, if you have more, that's fine.
I'll give you the ones that I got.
So we talked about the radio.
Wait. Let me finish this.
Yeah, go ahead.
This thing right here, and then we can go. So we talked about Houdini's spirit trumpet, right?
Huh?
I didn't hear that.
Spirit trumpet, spirit tuba, spirit saxophone.
So, okay.
Maybe he could play for the Mets, too.
It wasn't just spiritualist believers like Robinson who were interested in the connection between wireless technology and the supernatural. The American magician Harry Houdini, a skeptic who used his experience and fame as a magician to expose spiritualist fraud, once explained the wireless-related trick behind fake mediums, spirit trumpets, in a 1922 article for Popular Radio.
So he was able to figure out what the fuck they were doing.
These trumpets were a common fixture of seances, where they seemingly floated around the room, emitting spirit voices. Houdini claimed they worked like simple telecommunications devices. Hidden compartments in them could hide a telephone receiver and receiving coil. The voice of the secret accomplice, hidden several yards away, could be sent as a current via transferring coil to the receiving coil in the trumpet, which the telephone receiver would then convert to sound.
Yeah, okay. So it's just a very fancy telephone.
Yeah,
that they were
he
using.
was basically proving seances false. That's
right.
what he was doing.
Well, essentially what Dad said before. Like, he came in as a skeptic and went, this is bullshit, and I'm going to figure out why it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back. I'm fucked up tonight. We'll be back tonight to talk
And he's
about
the sober
more spiritual communications devices and our back and forth talking with Anthony and Dad here. We'll be right back. Please go listen to some of our sponsors.
Can't give up, though through the weaving vines get cut, though through the weaving vines get cut. Even now you can't give up.
Are you a filmmaker, cosplayer, or special effects enthusiast looking to take your creations to the next level? Then look no further than New Rule FX. From realistic props to professional grade special effects equipment, New Rule FX has everything you need to bring your vision to life. Explore their extensive catalog of high-quality products and unleash your creativity like never before. Visit our link in the description to shop now below.
Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented Neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories,
No calories.
no sugars,
No sugar.
no fillers,
No fillers.
and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Pass and Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby.
And be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout. AdamandEve.com. Welcome back, everybody, to Spiritual Communication Devices. As we continue, we have 2 more episodes this season, which is the season went by so fucking quickly.
I know.
And it's amazing of which.
See, it's weird because it's
how
like
we did this shit.
We're recording this in fucking like April or May.
Yeah.
And this is going to be up in November. So, happy Halloween, and I hope you're preparing for a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this will drop in November?
Yeah,
yes.
It'll be dropping in November.
Right. That's middle of football season.
Yeah.
Anybody want to make a prediction?
Oh, the Jets are, by now, they're already out.
They're already out.
They're already out.
Nope.
We know the Mets got canceled back in May, so.
Nope. This is
The Knicks just started their season. Let's go.
Good job by the Knicks today, by the way.
I'm predicting the Jets will be. This is November.
I would say they're at least 500 by November.
10-2.
10-2. I'm gonna say, all right. You know what? Realistically, with looking at our schedule, I'm gonna say
I hope for
8
your sake
2.
it's
Sorry.
right.
8
I will
2.
say by the middle of November, the Jets are over 500. I'll give you that much. Thank you for joining us on this little sports talk of our podcast about
All right,
ghosts.
communication devices, Dad. You got more communication stuff for us?
Yeah, I do. Hold on. Yes, I do. Let me get myself fixed here. Okay, you got psychic mediums, which you've been talking about, through what is his name, the magician there.
Harry Houdini. We were
Harry
talking about
Houdini.
Houdini before we left.
Okay, spirit boxes. We've got on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Radios, but they could be full of shit.
Pendulums and dowsing rods. These are simple tools that can help establish communication. Pendulums swing in response to questions, while dowsing rods react to energy changes. Dowsing rods. I'm still on the fence with dowsing rods. I don't know about spirit communication, but finding water and stuff like that, I'm not going to totally blow that off yet because I'm not sure.
Are they the same? Dowsing rods and divining rods, are they the same shit?
Same thing.
I don't understand the connection of that. It's like you're holding them, and if they cross, you walk that way and you find water. Is that how that works?
Well, if you right. When you're using them, you have to loosely hold them in your hands, and if they turn, then I don't know how exactly, but it finds energy or something, and the energy is supposed to be in the water, and then you know where to dig for the water. And that's an old-fashioned way of doing it, but people still do it. Does
And
it work?
Works.
I imagine it does work to some degree.
Well,
I don't know.
Do you know why I know it works? Because it's not just used in like, it's not just used in like spiritual shit. It's used in everyday life. As far as I know, there's a bunch of companies that digging and stuff like that use dowsing rods.
Right.
I would think. I mean,
I
know. I'm flabbergasted because you're a $1 billion company who's trying to figure out how to like maneuver or manipulate water, bring water someplace, or whatever you're trying to do. $1 billion of research, millions of new technology, $1 million worth of new technology. Fuck that! Get 2 sticks and stand there.
I don't know if they're sticks per se.
It's such a like
it's metal. I think they're metal rods designed for that. Unless, of course, if you're Grandpa Munster and you have a divining stick and you transistorize it, well, that's something else.
I mean, do they work similar? Like,
Big shout out to Al Loose.
I mean, do they work in the same vein like the way a compass does, where it always points north? Do like,
I think that has something to do
if
with
it's something
that.
like that, then I can understand that because we still use compasses.
Right.
And we have digital compasses too, but like a regular compass still works. It always, but
They got reverse compasses now. I heard too that they find that it's
They
weird.
point south.
Huh?
They always point south.
I don't know how they operate. I saw something on one of the shows I was watching the other day, but I don't. I know that they mentioned it. Now it could be a bunch of hooey. I don't know, but
hooey.
Hooey.
So
A bunch of hooey.
That's something that's out there. The divining rod and what was the other one? The
Dowsing rod.
pendulums and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, there's an old wives' tale, and I've seen it work. Was it work, or was it it's a 50% thing?
Yeah.
If you do the pendulum over the
Sand?
woman's stomach. No, the woman's stomach.
Oh,
it'll tell you what. If it moves this way, it tells you it's a boy or a girl. I don't know.
I've seen the pendulum thing work, and the second I call horseshit is when I see it just like doing its thing, all of a sudden just gets rigid on an angle that like there's no way. Because like
Yeah,
the point is up here, like where it's being held,
And it's on a string.
and it's on a string. Like there's no way that it's being pulled,
right.
and that's not possible. Like I don't want to. Like there's a magnet or
Well, I
something.
don't want to find out. If that happens, I want to know. I'm
like
out of there.
like when someone's like, "Oh, we're gonna read the sand afterwards." I'm like, "This is stupid shit." But all of a sudden, it just gets like a hard on. I'm like, "No, this is no. I don't believe that you have a magnet at the tip and you're holding a magnet under the table or something. You're full of shit."
All right, I'm gonna go. I got two more, Joe. I don't know. Okay,
Keep going.
okay. EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, that has taken up a lot. When all else fails in ghost hunting, if you have a voice recorder, it seems to work. I mean, it does. I know for a fact that when we did our ghost hunting next door, I don't know if we still have that recording.
No, we don't.
It blew my mind. I mean, it literally just blew my mind. And it was a little girl, and I just asked, and the only people in that room was me and it was Ryan and myself.
Yep.
And I said, if anybody's in here, please just let us know. And when we reviewed it, it said, "Hi." And what's that? Clear as a bell. And I still got shivers.
Well, see,
when that
you
happened.
say it's clear as a bell, and that's the big problem when it comes to EVPs, because you'll have people who listen to the same goddamn thing, but like, "Did you hear it? It said its name." And you're like, "I didn't hear shit." Like it's too, like it's almost one of like those weird magic pictures you too close to your face and you move it back, you see the
Or
image.
Carlin with the fence.
Yeah, that too. It's one of those things. It's like you're trying to see something in the static.
Right.
And unless it's absolutely like there's a range. Like there's one thing to hear, like, "Did you hear that?" Like it may have been all, but then it's like you have those summer EVPs like, "Hello," like it's very much like
Clear.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why
Like
I brought up that because that's a personal experience.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, everybody that heard it heard the same thing, so it's not like you're saying. However, there's times like you're watching a ghost hunting show, and it'll be they'll give the evidence to the person and they'll play it back, and I think that says this.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Or
What
if-
do you think?
Or it sounds like we heard something, but it sounds like it's in the corner of the room away from the mic, muffled. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Now,
like he said his name was Stan. I'm like, no, it sounds like someone like
I would
walking
be-
around or
I
something.
I would feel much better if they would say, like, if it wasn't clear,
Yeah,
that they would say, "All right, there's something there.
we were hearing something.
We heard something. We're not sure what it is." Unless you say, rap on a table 3 times and it does,
right,
or turn the flashlight off and it does.
right.
Um,
That's the ones that I can't. I'm a skeptic in most scenarios, but when it comes to the flashlight thing, that's something physical. That is not just physical; it's electromagnetical.
Right.
Even if that's even a fucking word, It's like
it is tonight.
turn the light on. It's a direct command,
Mhm.
and then you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, it turns on, and there's nobody around it. And you can make the argument that this is a television show, and there's Hollywood fuckery happening here, that they're going to rig it so it turns on for the sake of views, and I have to acknowledge that. But if even one out of 1,000 instances where someone put a flashlight down and say turn on, turn off, and it does it, I got to give something out there. I got to be like, well, something's fucked up.
Well, the difference for me when you're talking about something like as far as the turning on the flashlight and everything like that, the one that always gets me is when the batteries start to drain, because
Right.
you can't fake that.
No, you can't fake a dying battery.
But I got a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. And I don't know. Somebody, maybe it was you. Somebody asked me the question the other day that I was telling them about the show I was watching, and they went, and it was really paranormal, and the batteries were being drained.
Yeah.
Somehow, the TV batteries, the TV cameramen's batteries are never drained. I've never seen that happen.
Well,
Yeah.
do you know why I think that is? Because they're targeting specific batteries.
I don't think they're targeting any batteries. I think if you're trying to manifest, if you're a ghost, you're trying to manifest yourself, and the idea is to draw energy in order to manifest yourself.
But it's
you're-
not.
It's like casting an egg. You're drawing it from any source.
But if you no, it's not all at once though. That's been the thing throughout the ghost hunting community for forever. There's batteries that get drained, But at the same time, when you have different batteries, like their cell phones never were drained, it's specific batteries that get drained. More batteries that have more of a whatchamacallit. Like,
The ghost is like, is that lithium ion? Never mind.
No,
Trying to cut back, you see.
I've seen cell phone on Skinwalker Ranch. They literally have had, now when they were on top of the mesa, for all you people out there who's familiar with the program, there's this long running giant rock mesa, it's called, and they were digging. In fact, the first 2 seasons they were actually digging in. They were going in the cave, and the wristwatch were being drained, doing crazy shit. Their phones were doing crazy. iPhones were doing crazy shit, and the iPhone batteries were being drained. They'd leave the situation, iPhone batteries go back to normal. Was it being drained or was it being fucked with?
Well, that's the thing. That's where I'm like, if it's being drained, then there should be no more like
Battery
leave
in
the air.
there.
Exactly. Oh, my cell phone, it came back on. I have 98%. No, fuck you. If you're being drained, that means you're taking the energy from that battery and you're taking it out and it's being used in some other way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear that, it's okay. My battery's fine now and I'm out of that area.
Right.
You should have no battery. You should be drained until you go back and plug it in, and now you're charging it up again. That's the way batteries work.
Right.
So,
No, I've like I said, I've never
Hollywood fuckery, man.
I don't know if it's Hollywood fuckery at all, because when you're looking at these different circumstances, as far as when you're watching a TV show, and granted, it is a TV show, I understand that, but when you're having that, like they're showing you, it's draining right in front of them. Like there's nothing you can sit there and do to fucking drain a battery. That's right in front of, like, what can you, besides put maybe a magnet, but even a magnet, you would see the fucking thing. You know?
I don't
Like,
know.
You can't sit there and fake that when it's happening live in front of you.
Well, that's the other thing. I've never seen it live in front of me. This is all through the lens of a camera. This is all through another medium, television or film. Like even the movie that the Baggins made about the demon house. He spent the night and now he has to wear the special glasses because it blinded him and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Or did you hit 40 and your eyes started to go because you're old now and you needed new glasses? This is a great way to explain why you're wearing glasses all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
When it comes to that show, and I know I don't want to go into what show it is, but I think a lot of that stuff is bullshit. I'm going to be honest with you because to me, it's like every week they find something.
Yeah. It's too much on the head.
Whereas the other show, the older show, I'm going to say Ghost Hunters because we all know that show.
Yeah.
There were weeks where they found nothing.
Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
explained it to the people. I'm sorry.
For the first couple of seasons.
But I mean, the least, but you're right.
Except, of course, the Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And where Joey and I actually experienced
St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Same thing.
Like, that's
There's
why
a video up. We did go there. Please go watch that video.
it's like there's a few episodes of the early Ghost Hunters run where they stick out because otherwise, why the fuck? Like every week, we're like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But then you get that Eastern State Penitentiary one with the black mass running down the
Which
hallway.
I'm still not convinced that, but it does another one.
Yeah, it looks like a sneaker, but
To me, it looks like it's a cartoon superimposed in that. I just don't.
all right.
It just
well,
it all of a sudden it was there and it just like it blows away. I don't
yeah.
know.
But so you have stuff
Not
like
saying it's not true.
I know,
just don't
but you'll have that, or then you'll have the St. Augustine Lighthouse, or you'll have the I forget which one it was where they were talking to the psychic and the energy, like on the thermal cam, and you saw like there was something moving, and the psychic went like this, and like the energy dissipated. I think it was the same episode where they were looking at the locker, and you can see the outline of someone
Of a
standing
soldier.
there.
Well,
Of a soldier,
I have a
yes.
question for Speaking about that, would you consider that a communication device, spiritual communication device? The whatchamacallit where they sense the heat?
Thermal imaging?
Yeah, thermal imaging.
I guess a roundabout way, maybe.
Yeah, it's more of just a way to capture. It's not because you're not communicating. It's not like you're using this to pass a message along. You're just
I mean,
at a
if the ghost waves.
Yeah, but I mean, you're using it to gather information.
And that right there is more believable to me than basically other than EVPs, which I do believe does work. The FLIR cameras,
Thermal imaging.
imaging. To me, I mean, do you remember the one episode of Ghost Hunters that they were in Lep Castle
Yes.
Okay, do you remember when they were looking in the distance in the
Yes.
field and those three things ran by? They're
Yes.
elementals. Nothing moves like that. No animals move like that. Nothing, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's a freaky animal in Ireland, I don't know.
That's the problem. When you're standing in a room and you could see the heat signature outline of someone standing right in front of you, and then you're doing the dual, so you're seeing it in nighttime
Right.
versus the thermal, and there is nothing there, but on this camera they're catching. That to me is more believable than something like, look in the distance, we're not sure what that is. Could have been anything. Who the fuck knows?
Well, you don't know, but to me that just scared the shit out of me because they were dancing like a fairy would dance. You know what I mean?
They believe, like, there's a belief in, especially like Ireland and Scotland, that the Fae, like, fairies exist, and
Well, they
that
call them elementals, I think.
there's that, but then the FAE, Fae, like, it's all sort. I think that's a broad term that covers stuff like fairies, elementals, leprechauns,
older
shit
country.
like that.
I mean,
You know?
Older country. That's where history comes from.
Exactly. Well, you can't get much older than history.
land is land. Country is different.
I mean,
the-
but
the
like,
land is
you
there.
have castles that have stood there for 1,000 years, and like, surely there's something walking around, like, with all the amount of death and shit that's happened in those places.
And you got to question the guy who, you know, if one of these things come up for sale, you go, you know what? I think I need that 19-room mansion. I think there might be something in the dungeon. No, I'm going to Burger King.
Even so, like, you buy a castle, and it's like, it's still a pile of rocks, asshole. Like, it's not like you're walking in there and it's like fully furnished mansion. Like, that's not how they are anymore.
Right.
Those historical castles have been standing there for 1,000 years. They're a pile of rocks that are falling down. No one wants to live like, this is the great room. What's so fucking great about it?
Wow.
It's stone and a hearth. There's nothing, you can't get a game of checkers going on in here.
All right, so we're gonna take a short break.
I got one more.
Oh,
when we come
okay,
back.
one more. Go on.
No, you want to do it now?
No, do it now. Yeah.
According to most people, the most dangerous one is the Ouija board.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we
And
didn't talk about the
simply
Ouija board.
because you have no clue what's moving that planchette.
If-
and I'm going to tell you,
if something is moving it.
If so, thank
if
you, Joey.
something is moving, my cousin and I did it. I know my cousin's not a bullshitter. She would never lie.
Fair.
And I wasn't moving it either because I was trying to hightail it the fuck out of there. Because when we asked the question, I'm not going to say what question we asked. It said yes, and it moved itself to yes. And we tried. We both had three fingers on it. Then we did one finger on it, and did the same fucking thing. So again, personal experience.
Sure.
If it does work, you're opening yourself to a whole candy of whoop ass because you have no idea what's out there.
What candy flavored whoop ass?
I meant to say can. God damn it!
A whole candy of whoop ass. Candied whoop ass, ladies and gentlemen.
Only sold here on Is This Real?
Well, let's just put it like this.
I don't fuck with Ouija boards.
I don't fuck with Ouija.
I won't
boards
even get
either.
like a Ouija board blanket. You know what I mean? Like, they sell them at Spencer's and shit. Like, fuck that. The only time I would fuck with a Ouija board, I've seen this. There's a couple of porn stars that have them tattooed on their sternum. And I'm like, if I shoot a rope and like signs point to yes, like that's as much as I'm gonna fuck. Like, I'm never gonna be hooking up with one of those.
Shoot
But
a rope.
that's as much as I'm gonna fuck with a Ouija board.
Shoot a rope.
Parent advisory strongly recommended.
Yeah, seriously. Well,
Did your dad come back with the milk? Signs point to no.
we're gonna take another short break. Well, when we come back, we are gonna give our opinions, whether we believe in what we do with every episode. But if you have any stories or personal experiences with Ouija boards or seances or anything, please write it in the comments or email us. We would like to know your story. We would like to hear your story. We'd like to talk about it because we want to know if people are actually experiencing this shit without every episode that we talk about.
And if you've done more than one, tell us which one works the best. Save me a little bit of money when I'm going to buy all these fucking things.
I don't
Except
know.
the Ouija board. I'm not doing
Look,
that.
I don't want to know anybody's personal experience about next week's topic as far as the.
Just don't even preview it. Don't even say a fucking word about it
Okay.
because it's coming out of left field.
I mean, no, it's a theology.
Yeah, but it's not one that we would. And never mind. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
All
I
right,
cannot wait for this one.
we're gonna be
Come
back.
on.
We're gonna be back. Please go listen to some of our sponsors.
Even now you can't kill. I want it all.
Calling all cat lovers. Are you tired of your furry friend taking over your living space? Say hello to Cat Cave Co., your one-stop shop for all things stylish cat furniture. Their modern designs seamlessly blend into your home decor while providing your cat with a cozy sanctuary of their own. Discover the perfect piece for your feline friend today using the link in the description and reclaim your space without compromising your style. Your cat will thank you.
Hey, fellow truth seekers. Want to take your love for the Is This Real podcast to the next level? Check out our exclusive merchandise line designed for curious minds like yours in mind. From comfy tees and hoodies to stylish mugs and accessories, our merchandise is the best way for you to show your passion for unraveling the mysteries of the fucking universe. Visit our online store at isthisrealpc.com and gear up to explore the universe in style. Don't just listen, wear your curiosity with pride with Is This Real podcast merchandise.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com. And welcome back to our spiritual communication devices episode. Like I said before we left, again, hopefully you're writing down your stories in those comments. We want to know what your story is with any of these communication devices if you have a personal one. So let's get into what Okay, you just gotta fucking cut me off.
Well, I want to get it in there before we hit our last. I thought of one more communication device, and this one works. I heard the story. I'm like, this makes perfect sense. The Magic 8-Ball. One guy, he asked,
made a lot of money.
He drank the juice of the Magic 8-Ball, and he said, "Am I going to die?" It said yes, and then he did. So it told the future.
I hate you. I really do.
Anyway, I find that
we'll start with
plausibly
that.
deniable. I got one thing here, Joey. It's about how to safely use these instruments. According to
I don't
someone.
care about telling people how to safely use them.
Always use consent when
It's the
dealing with
5
the
do's
devil.
of contacting spirits. You don't want to hear it?
I do. Sure. Let's hear
sure.
this.
All
Let me
right,
do the
number
5
one.
do's.
Number one, do invite a positive spirit,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
which would be rum or vodka. Anyway.
A very happy-go-lucky spirit. I'm contacting Mr. Rogers. Are you there? Will you please show up and be my neighbor? Yeah, positive spirit. Next.
I can't. Do ground and protect yourself.
oh, like a plug. You
Okay,
need,
no,
you need
no,
to be
no.
grounded.
It says here, all it takes to be properly grounded is a visual meditation. Imagine that you are deeply rooted in the ground with strong roots at your feet.
Uh-huh.
Imagine a sphere of warm yellow protective light surrounding you. Simple visualization techniques can become powerful charms against negative spirits.
Yes, my meditation. Yum.
Done.
All of a sudden, a bucket of KFC appeared. It's a miracle.
All right.
Number 3, do ask the spirit's name. You must attempt to get
Yes.
You must attempt to get personal with the spirit after you've made contact. Ask it its name and use it when you converse.
Is your name Fred?
What is your name?
What is your social security?
What's your sign? What's your favorite drink? I'll have one ordered for you.
We did an episode on astrology. What do you feel about astrology?
Pay close attention to what the spirit is saying to you and be willing to make it a two-way conversation. Remember, getting information from a spirit is difficult. They often can't communicate the same way we can. But when you make an earnest effort, you're building trust and rapport.
My question. Hold on.
No, you're building trust and rapport like it's a fucking animal.
My question for that is when you do those stupid ones that you have on your app and it's like, what is your name? And it replies bucket. How do I sit here and have
Is
a
that French?
Yeah, like how do I have a
Okay.
safe, how do I start a dialogue with that. Like I don't get that.
Excuse me, Mr. Bucket. That was a popular kids game in the 90s.
Okay,
I had a
and
Mr. Bucket.
number 4,
Uh-huh.
do use a divination tool. If you are struggling to connect on your own, you could try to use a divination tool. Safe tools to use are tarot cards. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Automatic writing. We didn't talk about that
What
one.
the fuck is automatic writing?
Automatic writing.
Go ahead.
If I remember correctly, it is the idea of closing your eyes and meditating, and like you have a pen and paper in your hand, and all of a sudden you'll start writing, but you're not conscious of what you're writing.
That's one of it, and it also is. I think there's a machine that you can do the same thing, and it does it for you. But who knows? I don't know.
Oh, like a typewriter?
Kind of.
Yeah.
We can. I don't know. Pendulums, sacred notebooks.
Sacred
and
notebooks.
EVP recordings. Remember, a tool doesn't guarantee you success. As with all tools, the way you use them will determine the outcome. Remember to put your goggles on. And the 5th one, what do you think the 5th one's going to be?
Always wear a condom.
What do you think, Joey?
I don't know. This is
Baste the
really-
turkey before.
No. Do practice respect.
Oh.
The last thing you want to do when communicating with spirit is disrespect them. You might get turned into a toad or whatever. I don't know. You're already tampering with things that are beyond your control. To add disrespect, that can be dangerous.
So I have a question. What if the spirit before it died had a dom fetish?
Be patient and respectful. Use positive tones and always express your gratitude.
Thank you, Mr.
Send
Spirit.
it in his real mug when you're done so it can have its coffee in the afterlife. But that's the 5 do's and don'ts.
Well, you just gave me the do's. You didn't give me the don't.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You're
Well-
right. You're right. Hold on.
Oh, we
Oh,
have
we have-
don'ts.
we have don'ts.
We have don'ts.
How about just don't fucking communicate?
Hold on. What do you think the number 1 don't do is?
Don't stick a finger in your ass and hum.
Don't put peanut butter on your
Maybe
balls
that's
and
what
then
was happening before.
and
No,
invite
no.
the dog in.
The number 1. Actually, you know what? We're going to go from 5 down because it's easier that way.
Whatever gets you wet.
Yeah.
Okay. Number
Water,
5.
usually.
Don't tease or challenge.
Ooh.
It's worth repeating a tip we gave earlier. Do not be disrespectful. Teasing, challenging, and goading spirits into communicating with you is a surefire way to risk bringing a serious negative spirit in your presence.
So-
Isn't that something they do on Ghost Hunters?
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that what like Ed Warren did all the time? He's like,
Well,
go on, move it,
hold
you
on.
bitch.
Hold on. It depends on whether you're getting communication from the spirit or not. Like they even say it before in the episodes, and even Ed Warren said it before he did it. They would like, don't usually try this, but we're trying to get communication if there is something here, and they'll be like, yeah, fuck you, I fucked your lady once you died, something like that. Like
I forgot what they call it. Negative,
Negative
spiritual provocation or provocation.
provocation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
what's number 4?
Them's fighting words.
number 4,
They just woke
don't
up
go
like this.
in. And this is something if you're going to listen to this podcast tonight, this is something everybody should understand.
Okay.
First of all, we don't know what we're fucking with. Like you said earlier, we don't know what we're fucking with the other side. So number 4 is don't go in unprepared. If you aren't prepared to talk to spirits, don't try to do it. You need to have your wits about you in order to stay protected. These are spirits. There are spirits out there, experts out there, who are willing to help if you need to converse with spirits, but if you're feeling unsure, and I'm sure it's always for a fee as well.
Hold
Of
on.
course it is.
That's
no one does this for free.
that's what bothers me. Like I don't think if you don't know how to do it correctly, I don't think there would be something happening. Like if you don't know how to perform a seance correctly, you're not going to be sitting here trying to fucking form a seance.
Yeah. That's you're not wrong.
Like
you're
nobody
not
sits
wrong,
there and
but-
goes, "Oh my god, I was playing with my radio, and all of a sudden I'm talking to John Paul Jones." I don't know if he's dead, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Depends on which one you're talking about. The John Paul Jones from Zeppelin is not dead.
but that's
The
what I'm saying. Like,
Patriot, he's dead.
it like you're not gonna sit there and like, oops, honey, I accidentally communicated the dead.
I mean, there's enough like stupid movies out there. Like some idiot who doesn't know what they're doing accidentally opens a portal. It's like think of like the Ghostbusters. It's just like
Well, no,
I don't think
not
that's
really
necessary.
But
I
see-
don't-
Gotcha.
No, go ahead.
That also comes under this. If you're going to
Yeah,
use a
Jake,
Ouija
well-
board,
Yeah.
You are unprepared.
No shit.
Because this is happening to the millions of people that buy that fucking stupid game, thinking it's a game with no rules, and do something stupid and open up some kind of portal, or connect with a negative entity or a malicious.
No, it's everything's just
Okay, so
You don't pay
don't go
taxes, boo.
if these people didn't go in unprepared. Parker Brothers be out of business. Okay.
Yeah, but you can't sue the Parker brothers because my daughter got possessed by a spirit.
No, I'm
Like,
not saying you
if-
can, but you don't go in there just thinking that you're a fucking. Oh, today, we got the Ouija board, so the whole family's coming over for a barbecue.
Well, that's the thing with these things. Like they're
Why is Teddy in the fucking fire?
no. They're bought with
they're
the
bought with
intention of doing it.
but like,
Still not prepared.
Hold on,
because
I
these are
have a-
not provable things.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I understand what you're trying to say, but at the same time, when you're talking about something like a Ouija board, for instance, like we're not talking about seances or anything like
Sure.
that, but Ouija boards. I don't think we're sitting here like parents aren't going to the store and buying a Ouija board for the 7 or 8-year-old during Christmas time. Like
I've seen it happen.
that's
yeah,
that's not happening.
No, that is
bullshit.
That's happening,
That's
Joe.
bullshit. Do your research.
for the
that
7
happened.
and 8-year-old.
A kid who's
Yeah.
like, dude, we were into ghost hunting at that age. We were
No,
watching.
the fuck I wasn't.
We were watching Ghost Hunters.
I watched Ghost Hunters and shit myself in bed at night.
That's fine. That's great. But there are
You weren't
guaranteed there's
contacting things. These kids are thinking, oh, today we're going to contact Satan himself. You don't do that. You don't fuck around with something you're not prepared to fuck around with.
But no, hold on. But okay, you said it right there. When they buy them, they have the thought of, oh, we're gonna contact something.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're not prepared for what they might
but
contact.
it's also marketed as like this is not real shit. Like you're not really going to contact anything. That's why they can get away with it. If there was any physical, provable way of saying that this Ouija board can communicate with someone on the other side, and we can prove that for sure, it would be yanked. It would be put in the occult shops, and that's where the only place it'd be a special order item. Because you could buy it at Walmart in the game section, that proves you right there that it's not
Well,
intended to be taken seriously.
Well, hold on. There's a lot of different things we've seen in
Well,
a
it's
lot
money. That's
we've-
why
hold
they're
on, but
making millions. Of
we've
dollars.
And
also
also, you
seen-
can't sue them over it.
We've also seen in a lot of different stories as far as ghosts or demons or anything like that, where these entities are communicating through children's toys. And that doesn't mean the children's toy was meant for it. Like, there's been many
Sure.
different toys that have been used. I mean, if you believe it or not, granted, this is all goes on the basis of if you believe in the afterlife or not. But there's been many different toys that have been used in different stories that you sit there and say that's the way the ghost is communicating. Like, it's just because it's a children's thing and they can relate to children doesn't mean it's like, that's exactly what it was for, is communicating.
To your point, I understand what you're saying. However, when you're physically using something to communicate, when its only thing it's designed to do is to communicate with an unknown entity, that right there is ridiculous.
But that's what the thing is. You think it's only created for that.
What else is it for?
Well, I have a question. If you don't
The weather? I can turn on the fucking news
No,
for that.
if you don't believe in the afterlife, or you're an atheist and you say I'm not communicating with anything,
Then you wouldn't use it. If you're not,
you would use it for fun.
if you use it for fun, it doesn't stop it from being dangerous.
No, see,
That's like saying I'm going to take my car out and drive it, but you know what? I wasn't
Can you
smart
move
enough to
your
put a
hand
fucking.
away from the camera.
I wasn't smart enough to put a spare tire in there, and I got a flat. I still used the car, but something stupid came about because I wasn't prepared.
I don't know about that.
You can't. I'm sorry, but to me, it's a communication device made to be marketed as a children's toy or a teenager's toy or whatever, and they're not.
But it's
properly-
for the it's
Curiosity.
It's for the curiosity.
Doesn't make it less
see,
dangerous.
they market it as a game, but I don't understand how it's a game. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
isn't a game. It's
you know what I mean? Like, if there was rules and like you would see like Ouija board tournaments on ESPN 8 The Ocho, like they would find a way to be like, these are the world's best
And
Ouija
stay
board
tuned.
players.
Bagging 101 will be that's coming up next.
Like you would see like the world's best Ouija board players. That doesn't happen because it's not a game.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
But there's
Okay.
so many kids things that aren't that aren't just for games or anything like that. Like, I understand they market it as a game.
Give me a children's toy that is a toy that is specifically marketed or made to communicate with spirits. I'll wait.
It's not specifically made to communicate with spirits.
This is.
That is the difference. Like you can't use this in any other way. Like if you buy your daughter a doll.
What's the chicken recipe for tomorrow? It doesn't
Like if
work.
you buy your kid a doll, and all of a sudden the doll's moving on its own, and you're like, okay, something's a foul in the fuselage, Frederick. But you can sit there and like, there's many kids who have the same fucking doll who doesn't, right? For whatever reason, you got latched a spirit got latched on your kid's doll, and you have to deal with that issue somehow.
So I have a
Which
question.
you can do
but it's
very
still a doll.
easily, Annabelle. I mean, come
But
on.
what do you sit there and say to the people, to the thousands, millions, if even, who have bought in this game and have had no
Shit
experience?
happens. Like you caught, like you weren't either you weren't using it right, or you didn't believe in what you were doing.
So
or
you think
one
you have to believe in it for it to be
I don't
power of
work.
belief, man.
I
I've
don't-
been
I
saying
don't-
that all
no.
season.
I don't believe in the belief thing. What I do believe is, you know what? They might not be doing something where there's a spirit that can contact you. Or better yet, they might say, you know what? Nothing, I did it. Nothing happened. But yet, 30 years later, you know, it might just decide, you know, well, now's the time. And I brought that spirit into my life. It waited its time out. Maybe I became older and more vulnerable.
That's a
Who
spirit
knows?
with a grudge.
Okay, well, maybe. All right, let me.
Well, what's 30 years compared to eternity when it comes with spirit?
Right. All right, number 3, don't push your limits. If you start to feel uncomfortable during your conversation, cut it off immediately. Trust your gut here.
But that'll be disrespectful to the ghost.
Trust your gut here. You have to make sure that you stay in control at all times. And you're right. I'm sorry, there, Mr. Spirit Pie. I'm out of here.
Like, well, fuck you too.
And the spirit's like, well, wait a minute. You know, I traveled, 2 millennia to get here. All right. Number two, don't, I can see where this is going. Don't go in without protection.
Oh, yep. You have your spirit condom with you.
Shotgun and a rubber. Let's go.
I'm literally sitting across from, I didn't stop at a liquor store I didn't stop at a condom place.
Yes. Whenever I sit there and
I'm happy I did, and it made my life. Anyway,
whenever I sit there and communicate with the dead, I make sure I have I make
like-
sure I have holy water, a cross, and a condom all
Joe, you
with
should
me.
swing the camera around. We got 3 things of holy water up there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I make sure every time I use the Ouija board, I must make sure that I have a condom on and a cork in my ass.
If you are feeling negative psychic energy or aren't at your best,
Hold on. He's fucking losing it.
it's not a good time to attempt to converse with the spirits. The things you feel and think matter just as much as the things you say. And if you're not careful, you could put yourself at risk. This seems like way too much work.
So you have to be there happy and respectful. You have to temper your expectations. And even though you're doing all of those things, you could still wind up possessed.
Or draw a negative spirit. Not all possession, but you never know. You know what you're fucking with.
And if you don't pay your exorcism bill, you get weird possessed.
We possessed.
What's the number one, boys? What's the number one thing you shouldn't do?
Any of it? To me, it's like I hear a bump in the night, I roll over, I go back to sleep.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we grew up in Patterson, New Jersey.
That's a good point.
A bump
That's
in
a
the night
gunshot? Never mind.
Hey, no, yeah, we believe in the phrase of, well, I ain't
not-
fucking with it.
It
Not
ain't
my
my
problem.
business.
a bump in the night
Mind
normally
your
means
business.
somebody climbing through the window.
Mind your business.
Okay. The number one thing the number one don't do of this, don't use a Ouija board. Yes, we mentioned using divination tools is a good idea, but you should never, ever, ever use a Ouija board. When communicating with this tool, you could bring other less positive spirits into the world, and it could have a disastrous
So,
psychic effect.
My question
Sorry.
for you, hold on.
Sorry.
For my
With
question
that-
for you for you guys then, if that's the case, the number one rule is don't use a Ouija board, and if you break that number one rule, does that mean you could break all the otother rules following it? Because
Probably.
at that point, you're just throwing it out the window then.
I think what it's saying is use your common sense, be respectful, be if it
If I was
feels
using
this
my
way,
common sense, I wouldn't be trying to communicate these
well,
fuckers.
that's very true as well.
True.
If it feels bad, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's a duck.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a very Catholic idea. If it feels good, stop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, there's sometimes you just go like, all right, the finger's in there, let me relax. And then, well, I wind up enjoying myself. You know what I mean?
You know,
You don't know what I mean.
You open some things.
From the Pope, no less.
You open some
I'm
things
a
that I
walking-
think you should not open.
I'm a fucking walking Ouija board. I say things that no earthly human would expect me to say.
This is true. This is true.
So
Anyway,
how
Joe,
many
that's the
fingers
do's and the
in, Anthony?
don'ts. And I don't know where you want to go from here.
Depends on
but-
my stress level.
No, let's just put it like this. Let's finish this episode here, and we'll start with you, Dad. Do you believe in spiritual communication devices?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do believe. Even though they're dangerous, I do believe. I
do believe.
The ones I do believe in, I'll tell you right now. The Ouija board, number one, I believe in that. I believe that it works. EVPs, absolutely. Spirit communication, the device to use it, whatever, spirit box. Like
Spirit
Anthony said,
boxes-
I don't know. I can't say yes
for
or no.
for your iPhone. Those piece of shit apps. Yes, I don't believe in those fucking things.
Well, I've never done
but
it
an
with.
actual communicate, like an actual spirit
I've
box.
never done it, so I can't say.
I've seen those things fucking work.
Eh.
All right, when you're going through fucking AM frequencies at a fucking 1,000 miles a minute and things pop through, there's no other explanation for it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not well versed in that, so I can't say that.
I haven't done it. I don't know, so I can't say. But I know the Ouija board. There's too many stories of how this has led to serious problems. What my own ears will tell me, and I've experienced it myself, the EVPs. So, a clear EVP, not something. He said, "Take a shit." No, it doesn't work that way.
What? Well, I guess I have to now, spirit.
All right, Pope, do you believe in spiritual communication devices?
I gotta say that I do. I believe more in the idea of capturing, like using certain devices to capture spiritual phenomenon, than I do in the idea of like I'm gonna use this thing and ask questions, like infrared EVPs, shit like that. Like it's hard to argue. I know they're not physical, you know what I mean, but like it's a little bit more. It's easier to understand and see things that are captured, like especially in the moment, and you're like, I can't understand like why I see it through infrared, but I can't see it through regular vision.
It's hard to understand.
Full spec, like that is something I believe in more. I think when it comes to stuff like the Ouija board, the spirit box, all these things that are used specifically to communicate, I think you got to believe that they're working. And if you don't, I believe in the power of belief to an extent. I think it's like it works at.
Of belief.
I believe I do. I think the power of
Believe.
belief works at best at 12% of the time.
Believe.
It is like it's an eighth of the time it actually goes through and everything's clicking into place somehow, and whatever you believe is going to happen actually does. So, I think if you don't believe in it and you're fucking with it and you're just a non-believer, then nothing's going to happen to you.
All right.
But if you believe in it, then yeah, I think there's a chance that that energy of whatever the power of belief is, it will manifest itself and it'll happen.
Well, I believe in that stuff because I've seen them being used. Oh, hair in my mouth. Disgusting. I've seen them being used, and I've seen the shit that they capture and the things that I hear with them. And when you hear a female voice and there's only two males in the room,
Yep.
there's no other explanation.
Right, but that's not a communication device. That's an EVP thing.
That is a communication. You're communicating with the fucking thing.
You're communicating with
It's
it.
like, hi, is this Betty? Yes, this is Betty. Betty's not in the room.
Time out, dude. Time out. You're missing the thing. It's like I could stand outside and I could shout to my neighbor, or I could pick up the phone and I could call my neighbor. I'm getting the same result. Communication is happening, but I'm using this tool, which is the point of the fucking episode,
That's what I'm saying.
right?
When you hear an EVP of a woman that's not there,
But you're not using the EVP in order to get that woman. You're just recording the results. You're using some other means of communication. The communication device is not the same as a device that is capturing the communication. There's two different things.
I'm lost.
yeah, I'm lost here too. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say.
Please
What
explain.
I'm saying is, if I put down a recorder and I
Uh-huh.
start talking to the room
Right.
and the recorder picks something up, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm communicating to the ghost, trying to hear that goes this way. This is used to make sure that whatever I'm doing is being recorded so we have record of it. I'm not talking and utilizing this thing to draw the ghost.
So what?
Or whatever it is.
basically, hold on.
I-
Wait. So basically, what you're saying is, what you believe in as far as spiritual communication devices. When it's talking about communication, you're talking about a two-way street with communicating, where I answer. I can physically see or hear the answer in that specific time, and then I can respond back to that spirit.
What I'm saying is, I am using a device as a means to communicate to the thing, not to capture.
So it has
record.
to be a two-way street. That's what I'm saying. There has to be a response, a question response, and then my response back to that response. That's basically what you think.
Essentially, because all an EVP is a recording of the conversation.
Is the spirit? Hold on. Is the spirit trying to communicate with you? Is there a spirit? If you say,
yes, but he's not communicating. He's not looking at the walkie-talkie back. Hold on, let me get closer to the mic. Like, that's not what's happening.
it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
I think
A way to archive and a way to communicate are two different things. It's the same thing as, like, I could use my phone to record. I could use my phone to call you, and I can also use my phone to record the message while I'm on the phone with you. Those are two different processes. I can call you and no problem. We can have a communication and we can hang up the phone, and that's it. So there's no record of it.
So I have a question. Hold on. If you don't have that recorder in that moment, do you know if you're communicating with that spirit or not?
Do you have a recorder when you're using a Ouija board?
No, but there's a response back.
There's a response, exactly, but you're not. That's what I'm saying. An EVP is only used to capture the information.
And
it's not being utilized in order to get to the ghost.
I think it.
I think what you're doing is you're mixing.
I'm differentiating.
Right. When you have an EVP machine or a voice recorder,
Bastard.
you're leaving that. You're saying that thing here. You know what? Talk into it, and then go on with another conversation. You know what? If I get something, that's fine. If I don't, I'm not sitting here. Oh well, hold on. Let me see what it said.
Right. The purpose of that
where
device.
Ghostbox comes in.
Right. That's exactly right. The
Real
purpose
time.
of that device is just to record and capture information.
But there's also been many times where they've sat there, and you've seen this in investigations, where they sit there and go, "Do you see this device here? If you speak into it, I'll know you're communicating."
Because that is what the device does. There's a difference between that and saying this device here, this spirit box, was designed and invented in order to utilize it to communicate from one side of the realm to the
I
other.
guarantee the spirit box, if we actually get into the deep meaning of, not the meaning of the spirit box, but how it was invented from a different thing that wasn't usually initially
That's fair.
meant.
That's fine.
So it's the same thing.
No, it's not. It's the
Yes,
same.
it
It's the same thing
is.
with a Ouija board.
Well, guys, I think you guys could agree to disagree here.
Fuck him.
Fair. That's fair. Fuck me.
Well, because we are running a tad late here. I mean, let's.
That's
Right.
true. We still have another episode to film.
So I'm on the fence. Is that what you're gonna say? That fucking brick layered fence.
I said what I said. It was your decision to say if you believe it or not.
Fuck you. I do
All right.
believe in it.
Okay.
On the fence. I hope it's not chain link.
For you, no, it better not be chain link.
Can you end the episode already?
That shit better like.
Come on,
brick.
Tiny. Let's go. We have people who are waiting.
No, yeah, who's waiting?
I am. I want to get to the next episode.
Oh, fuck you.
It's going to be a good fun.
Okay. I do believe in spiritual communication devices. I do believe they work, and
I do
I
believe in
do.
ghosts. I do believe in ghosts.
I do believe EVPs are meant as communication. So fuck you, Anthony. But next week's episode is our season finale.
Yay!
As we end I'm just calling this a season of occults and theology. That's basically what it is.
It's just a cult.
As we sit there and we end this season of occults, please go to our link tree or our page, isisreal.com. You get all of our episodes.
No. IsIsraelPC.com.
IsIsraelPC.com.
If you go to IsIsrael.com, it's a porn site. Because that's just
You
the
would
way
know. You would know.
No, I know, because when you switched the website, you told me it was IsIsrael.com, and I went, I don't have that dick. And then you were like, PC. Let me add that to it. IsIsraelPC.com.
Anywho, so isisrealpc.com. You get all of our information about what we're talking about this season. Please go to follow our YouTube page, follow all of our social medias. I say this every week. You should be doing this by now if you're continuing to listen to us. Anybody have anything else to add for this episode?
Nope.
No, that's it.
Next week, we're talking about Nazi theology. Yay!
It is going to be wunderbar.
So we will catch you guys next week. Everybody say goodbye.
Adios, motherfuckers.
Take care.
Good night, everybody. Remember, question everything. Good night.
Even now you can't give up. Even now you can't give up. Go through the weaving vines. Go through the weaving vines. Even now you can't give up.
In 1935, Himmler actually established. I'm gonna fuck this up because it's in German. I'm not even gonna bother with it. It was a special commission that was used for research into the history of the Aryan race. So if there was any explorers who were going around the world, he was kind of like, "Where are you heading? Can you see if there was any white people there who look like us? Maybe we're from there."
I don't know, Anthony.
That's what he wanted. He wanted to figure out the ancient origins of the Aryan race.
Right.
Hey there, fellow truth seekers. Are you ready to dive deep into the mysteries of the universe? Look no further than isisraelpc.com, your one-stop destination for all things mysterious and unexplained. From captivating podcast episodes to thought-provoking articles, our website is packed with fascinating content that will leave you questioning reality. Visit isisraelpc.com today and join our community of curious minds as we explore the unknown together. Don't just wonder, discover the truth today at isisraelpc.com.